Good morning, friends. Let me first say the dogs are wound up this morning, so if they bark, I apologize. If they see a squirrel, a rabbit, the neighbor, a piece of paper fly by, they're carrying on. They're old and they can't see very well, so they get to carrying on. So I do apologize. It's real life. My dogs bark. So anyway, good morning, beautiful friends. It's Monday. It's 8:30 a.m. It's our last day off before we go back to work. Actually, I got to go in this evening and get my kitchen prepped up and prepared for a week back. Usually, if we take any time off, we're super busy when we go back. So, kind of really got to go back to work this evening. But it's okay. I'm going to hang out today. It's our last day off, like I said. The four of us will be together this evening, so I kind of wanted to fix a sit-down meal for all of us and just hang out and enjoy each other's company before we go back to work. I'm going to grab I forgot my olive oil here. Okay. So what I'm going to prepare, I had a zucchini left, and I looked in the fridge to see what all I had in there, and I had lots of vegetables. So I'm going to do a meat and veggie lasagna, or a bake, whatever you want to call it, because I'm not going to put any noodles in it. Because the last time I fixed pasta noodles, Brock kind of had a arthritis flare up, so I'm not going to do any noodles. So this is going to be a low carb. Now you could do lasagna noodles or add a pasta noodle if you want. I'm not going to. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I had a zucchini left, a garden zucchini from our friend's garden. It's probably a 8-inch zucchini. I cut it up into chunks. I leave it chunky like me because I want to taste those veggies. Now, if you have someone in your household or somebody that you prepare food that doesn't like veggies, pulverize those babies. Sneak them in there, chop them real fine. They'll never know. Okay, so here I have a zucchini and I have a carrot. Now I'm cooking my veggies that take the longest first. Okay, and then I've got some fungus among us. I've got some mushrooms here I'm going to put in also. And I left those chunky. I really want those chunky veggies. Now it's kind of like a bolognese. I'm kind of doing like a hillbilly bolognese here with all these fresh vegetables. So I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with some olive oil. Now listen, y'all, I went to the store the other day to get carrots. So this bag of carrots was 99 cents. The baby carrots already washed, peeled, cut, $2.99. So I hired myself for $2 to cut my own carrots. Sometimes convenience doesn't always pay off. So now I'm going to hit it with some SPG. Salt, pepper, garlic. Okay. Now I'm just going to set this on my burner here, and I'm going to let that saute, and I'm going to let it start to get soft. So while it is cooking, I'm going to chop up some celery, some onion, and a yellow pepper. All of this stuff was in my fridge, and I love to cook and make things that I already have. Listen, y'all, some mornings I get up, I don't really look at myself. I just kind of get up and mill about and go about my day. And I come out and I made some coffee and did some paperwork, and I went to put my brassiere on because y'all don't want to see that. So I went in to put my brassiere, my grandma used to say, and I looked up in the mirror and I was like, you look like you fought a bobcat in the night. My hair, woo! I said, you got to do something with yourself, girl. It was too bad to even film. With some mornings I get up and I just film, and the back of my hair is always sticking up and things like that. I have super fine, thin hair, so it don't take much for it to be a mess. So anyway, I had to wash my hair. So I went ahead and washed my hair and did my face routine because I don't know that you all was ready for that look this morning. It was all straight up. Looked like a baby shark. So anyway, I had to glam up for you the best I could this morning. All right, so we're just going to chop this up. Just like I said, leave it chunky like me. Unless you want to sneak those veggies in, then cut it a little finer. Just doing a rough chop here. Celery. Now see, the pepper, the celery, and the onions will cook a little faster. So I'm going to give those a good saute and get those to the point where they're tender and soft, the mushrooms and the zucchini and the carrots. And then I'll add the rest of these veg in. I got a half an onion here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to cut it here. Now I'm going to add ground beef. Now you could totally make this vegetarian by not adding any of the ground beef, but you all know we're a meat family. So I'll add in the ground beef. I haven't decided. I've got some ground beef in the freezer that's already prepared, and I also have that canned ground beef. So I don't know which one I'm going to grab. Either way, it's fully cooked, so that's one less step that I have to do. Now, if you don't have any fully cooked ground beef, you will have to cook your ground beef. I suggest that. So yesterday we went to Brock's parents for a fish fry. Brock took the fish that he just caught up at Lake Erie. We had perch and walleye, and it was delicious. And everybody brings something, kind of like potluck, and we all got to hang out together, and it was a nice afternoon. All right, so we go. Now I'm going to let these get nice and tender, and then I will be back with you, and we'll move on to the next step. And you're still here. Okay, so we're on to the next step. As you can see, everything has cooked down a little bit, and it's fork tender, and it's delicious because I tried a little piece of zucchini. So now I'm going to come in with those peppers, onions, and the celery. And listen, I feel like I've kind of overindulged the last few days being home, and yesterday at the fish fry. And my mother-in-law made my two favorite pies in the whole world, lemon and coconut cream. Oh, I had a little tiny slice of both. They were so good. My mother-in-law's baked goods. Listen, that lady could own a bakery. She is amazing. That's why I never take baked goods to her house. Oh, they were so good. So I think this is the perfect day to have this dish with all these fabulous veggies. So I've added in those. I'm going to put it back onto the stove and let those get soft now. I went ahead and got me a can of my ground beef that I canned. Listen, y'all, I'm going to be honest. I'm not doing that again. That was a lot of work. But let me tell you this thing. You boil the ground beef before you put it in the jars. And I have to say, boil it with water. And I have to say, I really liked that process because you could get a lot of that grease out. And I might do that again. But friends, a lot of work. I do like having prepped up ground beef in the freezer. And I like to cook it in a big batch and then measure it out in 2 pounds and then put it in a freezer bag and freeze it. Canning it was a lot of work. I just don't, I don't see I'm not doing it again. I love the chicken. Chicken was amazing. Beef was amazing. I did those chicken thighs. I haven't eaten those yet. Ground beef, I'm going to freeze it. Cook it in bulk. Freeze, put it in the freezer. That's my favorite way to do it. Now, if you like it, that's fine. But I've done it, so I'm going to use it. But I'm not going to do it again. I want to show you another tip that I do. So like at my house, I live by the rule, everything has a home in our home. So even in the refrigerator, the milk goes in the same place. The mayonnaise goes in the same place. Everything has its home. Now I've implemented this same policy at work, at the pizza shop. So if we're busy on a Friday night, you know exactly where the sausage is, exactly where the chicken is, exactly where the cheese is. You could go blind and find it. It's always in the same spot, and I make sure when I unload the truck, most of the time, I'm there. I'm always there when we unload the truck, but I make sure that everything is put in the same spot. So, with that being said, the milk goes on the door in our fridge here at the house. So when I get a gallon of milk and it's getting low and you get down and I had to buy another gallon, well, 2 gallons won't fit in that spot because it's milk, mayonnaise, creamer. That's the spot. Okay, I know, maybe it's a little crazy, but everybody knows where everything's at. They don't have to ask me. See, there's the key. Mom, Krista at work, everybody knows where everything's at and they don't have to ask me continuously, where's the mustard? Anyway, so when I get down to the milk, and and 2 gallons won't fit, I keep a jar like this, and I pour the rest of the milk in this jar because this takes up less space in my fridge than another gallon of milk. So there's just a little crazy tip for you. Anyway, I'm going to let this get soft, and then we'll be back on the next step as I'll ramble on. Look like got something serious going on here. Anyway, all the veggies are done and tender, and there they are. They look fabulous. So here is my canned ground beef. Same skillet. I'm going to pour it right in. And I don't know why I use this smallmouth jar for this, because I must have been impaired. I usually use a wide mouth jar for, oh, it's okay. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat this up because, you know, it's canned, so it's fully cooked. This way, if there's any little grease that I need to get removed, I'll be able to remove that also. So same skillet. We're working with the same pan here. I'm going to take it over to the stove, and I'm just going to heat it up because, like I said, it's fully cooked. And then we'll be back, and we'll start the assembly process. We'll start assembling. Okay, friends, the ground beef from my can is in here. I've just heated it up and drained it. Now I'm going to come in. This is just store-bought pasta sauce. You can use whatever you want. And I don't know if I'm going to need 2. I'm going to start with 1. There's my spoon. Give this a quick stir. This is going to make a huge pan of goodies here. All right, so we're going to do this 1 skillet. We're not going to, I just dirtied up another bowl to put my veggies in. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, and I'm going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. I'm about out. I have to make me up some more. Okay, a little bit of Italian seasoning. Let me get a little spoon here and give this a taste. Let's give it a try. See if I need to add any salt. Pinch of salt. Anytime I can anything, since this is my first time canning and we eat it, I say, dear Jesus, don't let me poison my family. Don't let this be the one that takes us out. So far, so good. Thank you, God. Knock on wood. Cover all my bases. All right, so here we go. We've got that ground beef. Evidently, this brought in the dogs. They smelled that. So I'm going to add some cottage cheese because we like it. And you could totally leave this part out. You could add ricotta. As y'all know, my annoying husband, he's not annoying. It's annoying that he doesn't like ricotta. Let me say that. Sometimes he's annoying too. Anyway, I'm going to add some cottage cheese. I don't know why we had 2 containers of cottage cheese open. Not happy about that. But who knows. Anyway, there's, I'm going to say probably, I don't know. I'm going to maybe add a little bit more. Let me see. Let me get it stirred up here. 1.5 cups of cottage cheese. Use your discretion, whatever you want. I'm going to add in a little bit of Parmesan cheese at this point too. Now here's what we're going to do. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it fits. This is my big bottom girl, but I don't know if she's that big. Let's cross our fingers here. Looks like it's going to happen. Friends, listen, honestly, I really wish you could smell this. Look at that. I want you to see all those fantastic veggies cooked in there. Oh my, what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful girl. This is going to be fabulous for dinner. Okay, I'm going to take this little cottage cheese fork and I'm going to try everything together to make sure we don't need to add any more seasonings to this and get a big bite here. It's so good. That is so good, friends. Sometimes just finding scraps of things in your fridge to cook turns into the best things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on the stove for a few minutes. Everything's fully cooked, but I'm just going to give it a minute to simmer, get together, hang out, get to know each other. All right. We're going to do a tender pan. My kids would roll their eyes at that. So, yeah, we're going to do that. I was thinking about Tinder and all this stuff. Listen, y'all, I want to tell you something. I would not want to be single right now. I would not want to date right now. It seems like it's so different that, like, people meet online and don't talk face to face. They talk through text. I was telling the kids back in my day, if you wanted to bully somebody and you wanted to make comments, you had to do it to their face, and you took a chance of getting smacked in the face. And that's not how it is now. Everything's online, and then they go and meet, and it's, you know, people don't come off in person as they do like on line or whatever. All the catfishing and all those buzzwords that, you know, my kids know that I don't really know. It's crazy. I just don't have to do it anymore. Thank goodness. I don't have to. It was hard enough. It was hard enough back in the 90s. I can't imagine doing it now. All right, so anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let this kind of hang out on the Tinder page, get Tinder, and then we'll be back. And you're still here. All right, friends, so everything is done, hanging out. They swiped right. So anyway, here is our mixture. Now, at this point, if you wanted to, you could cook up some penne or some bow tie pasta, or even do like a lasagna and layer this. This would be the perfect foundation to any pasta. But like I said, I'm not going to do any pasta because of Brock's flare up. So, and listen, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I'm just like, hey, let's get adventurous here. I have a cookie sheet here. You call it a cookie sheet or a cooking sheet? I always call it a cookie sheet. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to, and I'm going to see what happens. So I'm going to pour it right on. Oh wee. I should have gotten a bigger one. I underestimated myself. A little too late now, isn't it, friends? All right, so look at that. Why? I don't know. I just wanted to cook it on a sheet pan. And let me tell you what. I think this one's too small. So maybe get a little bit of this. Let's go in. Is this one even bigger? Okay, so this one may be a little bit deeper. I don't know. Lord have mercy, Chrissy, you're going to have every pan in the house dirtied up. I don't want any spilling over the sides. And let me tell you why I did this. Other than being crazy. I thought that when I go to reheat this, it will... Okay, so this is the same size pan. Is this bigger? I'm not dirtying up any more pans. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to see what happens. I don't know why I decided to do this. I thought it would be interesting. So we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. We're going to go with my first instinct. I thought because it was so thick and so chunky, like me, it would be easier to reheat on this sheet pan because It's 9:15 in the morning. I'm not cooking this yet. Or I'm not baking it yet. I'm going to bake it in the oven. God bless my craziness. We're going to see what happens, friends. It either is going to be a disaster or it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to add some more. It's lasagna cake. We're going to do some more of this Parmesan cheese. Okay. And then I have some mozzarella I'm going to come in and do right on top. Now, this is totally low carb. You got all those great veggies in there. I'm just going to sprinkle on the cheese with my heart. I've got about half of a 12-ounce bag here of this cheese left. This is scrap day at Chris's Country Kitchen. It's pretty good for scraps, don't they? I think if this works out, this is going to be a beautiful presentation. And we'll just take it out with a spatula. I mean, come on. Come on, kids. All right. Just going to go ahead and empty out the bag. Look at that. Now, here's something I didn't think about. Where in my fridge am I going to pop this baby in without disaster? I'm definitely going to cover it. And I'm definitely going to let it cool down for a few minutes here on my counter before I put it in the fridge. I'm definitely going to cover it. I may have to take it out to our fridge in the garage. Why I'm doing this, I don't know. It just came to me. I thought it was a good idea. We're going to see what happens. I may have to put some foil underneath of it so in case it spills out in my oven. I don't want that disaster. Okay, so I'm just going to go for now because it's 9:15 and I'll come back. I'm going to bake this at 375 until it's warm and the cheese is melted, and I think it will take less time to bake in this big pan. One of those big throwaway pans would have been perfect. I don't have one. So if you're watching this and you're going to do this, maybe grab one of those big throwaway pans. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to do some chores, and when we come back, I'll show you what we're going to do at dinner. Bye, friends. Friends, it is 20 till 6 p.m. and look at this veggie and meat lasagna that I made up earlier this morning. I am not mad at this on this sheet pan. It looks amazing. We're going to have some salad with it. We're going to have some little bit of some French bread. Dinner is served. Let's give it a taste. I probably should let it set a little bit longer. 375 for about 25-30 minutes. Look at that, friends. It's coming right off the sheet pan. OMG. All those fresh veg. Let's give it a try. It's super hot. So tasty. What a great way to get all of those garden fresh veggies in here. Delicious. Low carb, full of flavor, quick, easy. Like I said, if somebody wants the noodles, cook them on the side and just let them mix them in. It doesn't have to be hard, friends. I'm going to go and we'll have dinner with my family. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great night, guys.